Well, Colin Harding is a Latin American analyst, and he joins me now from Manchester in the UK to talk more about this. Thanks so much for speaking to us. Is it that bad, a country with such rich soil? Are people actually starving?
It is extraordinary, isn't it? Yes. Well, starving is perhaps overstating it a little, although there have been cases, but certainly malnutrition, particularly among children and babies, is a very severe problem. And the government now recognizes there is a humanitarian problem. They've been reluctant in the past to allow international organizations in to have a look around, but now they take the view that it's all the fault of American sanctions, that the shortages, and it's really up to the international community to take a hand in this.
Right. But even when Maduro's government seems to admit there is a crisis of sorts, they will often say it's also a problem of propaganda from the opposition. And if there's a lack of food and other necessities, it's also the responsibility of the United States for imposing sanctions on Venezuela. Has he got a point there, or is he just avoiding responsibility?
Well, of course, the sanctions by the United States haven't exactly helped, but the problems, the shortages and the high prices and the general collapse of the productive system long predate US sanctions, which were mainly aimed anyway at individuals to begin with. So no, I mean, it's clearly exacerbated certain problems, but it's not caused by them. But that is the view that prefers to take, and therefore they are now allowing international organization to come in and try to evaluate what should be done.
Do you think this current government, though, as it stands, honestly can solve the problems that are facing it?
With great difficulty. They have made a number of economic reforms without admitting that they're changing their line. They have relaxed a number of the controls that were strangling production, for instance, exchange controls and import controls and so on. So if you have access to dollars, and the economy is effectively dollarized, if you have access to dollars, and quite a lot of people do, you can access a number of goods. I mean, there are shops which are full of goods. It's high prices that have been the problem for people, not so much the absence of goods. But of course, with the abundance of dollars in the country now, mainly from remittances from the 4.5 million people who've emigrated from Venezuela, the abundance of availability of dollars means that the prices in dollars have started to go up as well. So that window is closing somewhat. So the government has made certain changes and made certain things better for limited numbers of the population, but they would have to make a huge reversal of the kind of policies they've been following in order to achieve a real solution to this.
Colin, what about the opposition, though? I mean, a number of Western countries, not least the United States, had kind of acted as if they would be the saviors of Venezuela. Juan Guaido, in particular, he seemed like he was on his way to power, and now he's completely out of the political scene, it almost seems now. So what is stopping the opposition from actually gaining at least more control?
Well, the short answer really is that Maduro has retained the support of the military, of the security forces. And as long as they're backing him, and they have lots of reasons for doing so, they have access to all kinds of goodies, including dollars and cheap goods and the massive corruption which is pervasive in Venezuela. So they're going to keep on backing him as far as one can make out. There is some discontent in the ranks, but the top brass are certainly solidly behind Maduro up until now. And as long as that's the case, he looks pretty safe. So the opposition and Guaido, who announced that he was effectively the president just over a year ago, he's claimed to be the legitimate government of Venezuela, or legitimate president of Venezuela, but he hasn't actually been able to get his hands on any of the levers of power. They're all firmly in the grip of Maduro and his supporters. And of course, people have become rather disenchanted with this situation, that he's said he's going to take over, but he hasn't been able to do so. And so, of course, the opposition has begun to fragment because of this.
Okay, Colin Harding, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us from Manchester. We appreciate it.